It's time for Game 2 on Senior Day as Post looks to bounce back and snap its 6-game skid heading into the postseason against the Lincoln Lions, trying to sweep this doubleheader to close the regular season. Thanks for joining me on the CACC Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. Delighted you could make me and the rest of our crew part of your Tuesday evening. This is the final game of the regular season, final home game for Post Athletics in the 2024-25 season. The Eagles are locked into the 3 seed in the North Division. Will face Felician in the best-of-3 series starting on Friday. Game 3, if necessary, on Saturday. Lincoln trying to close out a tough regular season out on a high note. They took Game 1 in 7 innings, 13-2 run-ruling Post. Solomon Devard steps in. First pitch from Eric Gutowski. Fired in for a first pitch strike, 5:01 local time. The opening pitch in Game 2. Just going 7 innings for Game 2. And Gutowski quickly ahead, 0-2. 74 degrees and sunny. What has been a beautiful day and beautiful week for weather. As the 0-2 driven the other way, and Devard opens up Game 2 with a base hit to right. Looking at the rest of the Lincoln order, Sean Stoney coming up to bat. Wesley Hogan follows him, batting third. Jaden Greenidge is the third baseman, batting in the cleanup spot. Miguel Agramonte bats fifth. Kenneth Gaskins bats sixth, the designated hitter. The catcher, Jalen Greenidge, makes his first start today. Pinch hit in Game 1. He bats seventh. Stoney takes the first pitch strike from Gutowski. Sebastian Aguirre was behind the dish in Game 1. He is now the DH in Game 2. Gaskins is playing at first base today. He was in Game 2. He's the DH in Game 1. And Gutowski again ahead 0-2. And then rounding things out, Bryce McNeil is the center fielder batting ninth. The 0-2 is outside. Stoney batted seventh in Game 1. Had a 2-run single in the fifth inning. Snap throw to first seems Devard back in time. Devard went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs in Game 1. He's now 1 for 1 to start Game 2. The 1-2. Driven out, straightaway center. Rodriguez is there, and he makes the grab for out number 1. Looking at the Post defensive alignment, Damaris Rodriguez is out in center field. He is flanked in right by Isaiah Velasco and in left by Ben Major. Hayden Roberge occupies first base. Rene Vega's at second. Justin Rivera at short, and Maiko Cardona at the hot corner at third. And completing the battery with Gutowski is Sean Cleary. Same lineup as Game 1, essentially. There was a change in the second inning of Game 1. Manny Contreras was pulled at first base. Roberge went to left, took his spot. Ben Major went into left after pinch hitting for Contreras in the second inning. First pitch is a strike to Wesley Hogan. Shortstop went 1 for 5. Runner going. He cuts and misses the throw down from Cleary. Gets away and goes into left field. Devard steals a base and then scampers on to third. As that ball came in, Devard was sliding in. And looks like it went ricocheting off of him and into left field. And Otsu County stands 90 feet away from giving Lincoln the lead. Fouled off of home plate by Hogan. Looking at Gutowski. Making his 10th appearance, first start of the year, 5.73 ERA on the year through 11 innings of work. Has given up 10 runs, 7 earned on 9 hits. That bounces in the dirt. Cleary sprawling to his right to make the stop. Gutowski with 7 Ks to 15 walks. Opponents are batting .214 against him. Pitching on his senior day was honored in between games 1 and 2. This one nubbed down the first base side. Picked up and fired at first for 1. Coming in to score comes Devard, an RBI ground out from Wesley Hogan. And Lincoln strikes first in the top of the first on the RBI ground out from Hogan. The Lions open the scoring in game 1 with 4 runs in the second. They strike quickly once again here. Hogan picks up his 26th RBI of the season. Jaden Greenidge weaves through the first pitch fastball from Gutowski. This and in the air, shallow center field. Vega and Rivera moving over. Just a step onto the outfield grass. It's Rene Vega to make the grab, and the inning is over. Lincoln opens the scoring on the RBI ground out from Wesley Hogan. We head to the bottom of the first, where we'll get our first look at the post bats here in game 2. Bottom of the second inning, you saw a look at the post hitting order coming into this second inning. Rene Vega leads off, and then it'll be Damaris Rodriguez and Isaiah Velasco to follow. In the bottom of the first inning, facing Ethan Craig, the freshman right-hander out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, on the bump for Lincoln. Was named to the CACC honor roll yesterday after allowing 1 run with 9 Ks in a 7-inning complete game win over Caldwell. And he opens this bottom half of the first with a strike to Rene Vega. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted you could be with me on this Tuesday afternoon. Lincoln took game 1 of this doubleheader 13-2. And Jaden Greenidge opens the bottom of the first with a slow motion dive to pick up the soft line drive from Rene Vega. And there is 1 away in the bottom of the first. Damaris Rodriguez comes up, swings on the first pitch and fouls it away. Rodriguez honored in between the 2 games on senior day. Currently hitting .435. He is on pace to break the single season batting average record in post history. Currently holds it if it were to stand. Rodriguez on his third school. Started his career at the Division I level with Bryant. As Craig fires that in, and it's 1-2. And a really productive first year at Bryant. Was all NEC second team as a freshman, was preseason rookie of the year. Batted .338 with 4 home runs, 33 RBIs in his first year with the Bulldogs. Fell behind in the second year. Transferred to Post in 2023. Played in just 5 games. Then transferred again in 2024 to Rollins College. Struggled there, and now he's returned to Waterbury and has enjoyed a career and record-breaking year as he flares this 3-2 to left, and it bounces into the corner. Motors around first into second. And it's a one-out double for Damaris Rodriguez to give Post its first base runner and first hit in Game 2. Brings up Isaiah Velasco. Velasco in Game 1 was 0 for 3. Rodriguez always a threat with his speed. He was up in the press box in between the 2 games asking for any records he might be able to break, and he asked where he was in stolen base category. He's second all-time for single-season record, but he is well off the pace of breaking that as Velasco drives this out towards right center field. On the move to make the catch is Agramonte. For out number 2, comes firing in towards third as Rodriguez advances on the fly ball. Justin Rivera comes up trying to even the scoring and drive in Rodriguez. Talked about Craig being on the honor roll this past week on the season. He is 4-6 with a 9.15 ERA. He's making his 9th start of the year. He's thrown 2 complete games. Across 41 and a third innings of work, he has struck out 36, walked 40. Opponents are batting .219 against the freshman right-hander. 1-0, he gets back in the zone, and it's 1-1. He's ahead 1-2 now. Rivera, another senior, transferred in from Bloomfield last season. Has over 100 career hits with Post alone. He hit that 100 career mark when he was with Post, and he's just continued to blossom this season. His 53 RBIs this year tied for the second most in a single season. 1-2 is a touch outside from Craig. All level, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away with Rodriguez at third. Two is high, goes to the backstop. Here comes Rodriguez, and we are tied. Rodriguez takes advantage of the wild pitch. Or evened up 1-1 after Wesley Hogan had the RBI ground out in the top of the first. It's Rodriguez with the double and then advancing on the fly out from Velasco, and now the wild pitch to come home. Payoff pitch to Rivera. Chopper right back up the middle, and it will find its way into center field. 2-out base hit for Justin Rivera. Take a look at the Lincoln defensive alignment. Jalen Greenidge is behind the plate for Game 2. Kenneth Gaskins was the DH in Game 1. He's now at first base. Sean Stoney back at second. Wesley Hogan at short. And Jalen's twin brother Jaden is over at third. In left field, it's Solomon Devard as Craig yanks this one. Advancing to second goes Rivera on the second wild pitch of the inning. In left field is Devard, as I said, and in center is Bryce McNeil, and then in right, Miguel Agramonte. Head coach Vince Connor out to talk with his freshman pitcher and Ethan Craig. Saw freshman Isaiah Negron absolutely stellar in Game 1 for Lincoln. Picked up his first career win on the mound, going 6 innings, giving up just 2 runs on 4 hits, striking out 4 post hitters and walking 1. His stability on the mound was huge for Lincoln to pick up the win in Game 1, a 13-2 run rule over Post. Eagles trying to snap a 6-game skid now, trying to right the ship getting into the postseason. They're locked in at that 3 seed. They'll take on 2 seed in North Felician on Friday for a doubleheader. If necessary, Game 3 will be on Saturday. As for Lincoln, their season will come to a close after this one. 8-37 now after the win in Game 1. 4-28 in conference play. Craig answers back and gets in the zone. It's 2-1 with 2 away. Two-one stamps the outside edge, and it's 2-2 with 2 away. Craig looking to limit the damage to just 1 run as Jalen Kelly, who picked up his first career strikeout on the mound in Game 1, trying to give Post its first lead of the day. Skies one to center field. Drifting back goes McNeil. He's got it, and the inning is over. Rodriguez scores on the wild pitch, and we're through 1, tied at 1 on the CACC network. New pitcher on the mound in the top of the second for Post. Eric Katowski goes 1 inning, giving up 1 run on 1 hit. And he turns the ball over to Sean Nowicki, the freshman right-hander out of Meriden, Connecticut. He'll face 5, 6, and 7 in the Lincoln order, beginning with Miguel Agramonte. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo. Glad you could be with me on this Tuesday afternoon. Lincoln looking for the sweep to close out the regular season. Post trying to get back in the win column. They've dropped 6 straight games after falling to Lincoln in 7 innings in Game 1, a 13-2 run rule. Nowicki comes onto the mound. He makes his 6th appearance on the mound, holds a 7.36 ERA through 3 2/3 innings of work. He has 1 strikeout to 3 walks. Opponents have batted .389 against him thus far. Agrimonte, delayed swing, lifts it out towards left center field. Long run for Rodriguez, and he's going to get there. Excellent speed out in center field by Damaris Rodriguez. Hunts down that fly ball for out number 1. Brings up Kenneth Gaskins. Was the DH in Game 1 where he walked 3 times. Also picked up a single and a 1-for-2 day. And the opener of this doubleheader. Now he's at first base. Takes a first pitch ball high from Nowicki. That's well outside, and it's 2-0. Nowicki appeared on Sunday against Dominican in Game 1 of that doubleheader, in which Dominican won 20-18. Waving through goes Gaskins, and it's 2-1. Nowicki went 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 run on a hit, walked 1, and gave up a home run. 2-1. Gaskins pulls down the right field line, and it goes foul. Two-one is outside, and it's 3-2. Gaskins, after that 1-for-2 day in Game 1, now has a 6-game hitting streak. Payoff pitch from Nowicki. Fouled off by Gaskins. Another payoff pitch is inside and hits Gaskins. He's aboard on a 1-out hit by pitch. Brings up the catcher, Jalen Greenidge. He pinch hit in Game 1, flew out to right in the 7th inning in place of Keith Gardner, who was stellar through Game 1. A 2-run home run and a single highlighted the day for Gardner. Not in the lineup in Game 2. Greenidge batting .192 this season, 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. First pitch is in the dirt with a nice sliding block by Cleary. Greenidge has back-to-back games with hits in his starts. Went 1-for-2 in Game 2 against Holy Family on Sunday and 1-for-3 in Game 1 with an RBI. Here's the 1-1. Cuts and misses. And it's 1-2. The 1-2 skips in. All even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vince Connor at the helm for Lincoln in his first full season as head coach. Stepped in last year as the interim head coach. Greenidge on the 2-2, flies it out towards right. Velasco running over, and he won't get there. Last season for Lincoln, going 11-35, 1-23 in conference. That's when they were a part of the ECC. And now in year one in the CACC at 4-28. Gaskins is going. The throw down is late from Cleary on an up and in fastball. Saw Greenidge ducking out of the way. Count now runs full with Gaskins in scoring position. Gaskins with good speed picks up his 7th stolen base of the season as Greenidge floats one out towards center. Rodriguez makes the catch. Tagging is Gaskins. He'll motor in, and he stands 90 feet away from giving Lincoln the lead. As Sebastian Aguirre comes up to bat, was the catcher in game 1, DHing here in game 2. Had a walk, a double, a sac bunt, and a pop out. Also had a run scored. The 1-0. Aguirre clips it straight back. Just the slightest shift by Justin Rivera at short, playing a touch closer to line, so big gap up the middle as well for Rene Vega, who's a few steps back in right field. That one caught the back of Aguirre, and he'll toss his bat, heading down to first on the second hit batter of the inning by Nowicki. Brings up the 9-hitter, Bryce McNeil. Appeared as a defensive change in game 1. McNeil this season batting .225. He makes his 9th start of the year. And excuse me, check swing, he fouls it off. Has 6 RBIs this season. Has struggled with strikeouts. He's got 20 this season to just 2 walks. McNeil, a freshman out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Going is Aguirre. Throw down to second from Cleary. Bounces away from Vega, and coming in to score comes Gaskins. The old fake steal from Aguirre tempts the throw of Cleary. And Aguirre, as soon as he saw the ball released, went back to first base. And Vega not able to make a clean cutoff to fire out Gaskins at home. It ate him up as it was coming up short towards him, and Lincoln back in front, 2-1. Now Aguirre's going as McNeil waves through the 0-2, drop third, fire down to first. And the inning ends with Lincoln adding another run, and the Lions lead 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second here on the CACC Network. Bottom of the second inning, Lincoln in front 2-1 after Kenneth Gaskins comes in to score on the tried and trusted fake steal, forced the throw down to second, and come home to score from third. Beautiful setup from Sebastian Aguaron, and Gaskins makes it 2-1 Lincoln. Michael Cardona leads off, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole as Ethan Craig has fired in a pair of strikes. Back on the bump for Lincoln. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Michael Cardona down on 3 pitches, and Craig has his first strikeout of the evening. Goes down looking. And he starts off Roberge with a strike as well. 0-1 breaking ball in there as well. Ethan Craig settling into a groove just like his teammate Isaiah Negron did in Game 1. Looking for back-to-back strikeouts. The 0-2 is high. Game 1 for Roberge was 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Was honored pregame, or in between games 1 and 2 on Senior Day. Missed last season due to an injury, but came in after transferring from Norwich University to D3 level. 1-2 brushes inside. He's been hit by a program record 28 pitches this season. In addition to his 21 walks, he finds a way to get on base by any means necessary. 2-2 on the ground. Backhanded by Hogan. Fires to first. 2 away. Brings up Ben Major, the left fielder. Wasn't a starter in Game 1, but after a wacky top of the second that saw a failed pickoff throw and Manny Contreras losing track of the ball and 3 runs coming across to score in that play. Saw Major pinch hit for Contreras in the bottom half of that second inning. And it's been Major ever since out and left. Saw Roberge rotate to first base. Here comes the 1-0. In for strike 1. All even at 1-1. Major went 1 for 2. Strike out his first time up, singled and scored, and then walked in the 7th. Freshman out of Troy, Ohio, is in his second season in baseball. First with Post, started last year with Dayton, didn't play at the D1 level, so he's come here. Couldn't catch up to the fastball from Craig. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Craig looking for another punch out to bookend this second inning. Called strike 3. He stamps the outside corner, and Major goes down looking. 2 punch outs in that frame for Craig, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the second to send us to the third here on the CACC Network. back to the top of the order for Lincoln in the top of the third inning. Solomon Devard to lead off, facing Sean Nowicki, who's out for his second inning of work. It's a 2-1 Lincoln lead here on the CACC Network. Matt Scalzo with you. Glad you can make me a part of your Tuesday evening. Game 2 of the Senior Day doubleheader. Lincoln looking for the sweep. They took game 1, 13-2. And the first pitch from Nowicki dips low. Devard opened the scoring. Singled to lead off this game in the top of the first inning. Eventually came in on an RBI groundout from Wesley Hogan. He skies the 1-0 foul. Post answered back in the first inning as Damaris Rodriguez scored on a wild pitch. And then in the second, Kenneth Gaskin stole home on the tried and trusted fake double steal as Devard takes the off speed on the inner half for called strike 2. Was runners on first and third. Sebastian Aguaron started going towards second. Sean Cleary threw it home, and Gaskins came in. Nowicki picks up his second strikeout as he fans Devard on the off speed, and there's one gone in the third. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nowicki. He closed the book on the top of the second on a drop third strikeout against Bryce McNeil. Sean Stoney comes up after a fly out to center, his first time up. Takes the ball upstairs, and it's 1-0. Lincoln in the road grays with blue pinstripes. Post in the all-white home uniforms with the orange caps and bills. Eagle logo in the center of the hat. The 1-1. The breaking ball loops in and catches that inner half once again. Nowicki has settled in to his second inning of work. The right-hander on the 1-2. Fighting off the breaking ball is Stoney. Shift is on for Post. Renee Vega playing up the middle and is on the right side of the second base bag. If you're looking at it from center field, and left side from home plate. Justin Rivera in between second and third, about halfway, and Cardona playing down the line. Big gap over by second base if Stoney's able to work this the other way. 2-2. Inside, and he catches a piece to stay alive. Two delivery. Pulls Cleary out to stop it. Full count to Sean Stoney. The 3-2, Stoney in the air. Left field, Major drifts back, and in the shadow of the warning track, he's able to come up with the second out. Pair of flyouts for Stoney. He's 0 for 2, and Wesley Hogan comes up. He had the RBI ground out to the catcher in the first inning that brought in Solomon Devard. First pitch breaking ball hangs upstairs. On the ground the other way. Vega can't come up with a sliding grab. And the inning will continue on a 2-out base hit to right by Wesley Hogan. Second hit of the day for Hogan. Went 1 for 5 in game 1. A couple of strikeouts, fly out. Fielder's choice Or, well, 1 for 4 technically, and a single in the fourth. He picks up a single here in the third. Jaden Greenidge comes up. He popped out to the second baseman Vega to end the inning in the first. Takes ball one outside. Game 2 just going 7 innings. Lincoln took game 1 in 7. Run ruling post 13-2 on the ground, and Rivera can't come up with the backhand stop. Pair of runners on for Lincoln on the sharply hit ground ball from Jaden Greenidge. Puts Hogan into scoring position. Back-to-back base hits as Miguel Agravante comes up. He flew out to center and begin the second inning. Nowicki floats in the fastball high on the opening pitch of the at-bat. Kenneth Gaskin stands on deck. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 men on with 2 away in the top of the third. Lincoln trying to sweep this doubleheader to close out the regular season and send Post into the postseason on a 7-game skid. Nowicki answers back with a fastball that catches the upper part of the zone, right at the belt of Agramante. Two 1 is high. Hitters count. Agramante went 2 for 3 in game 1, a double and a single. Fouls this straight back, and the count runs full. Also had a pair of walks in game 1. The payoff pitch with the runners going, pulled to the backstop. Rounding third, in between, and now caught in a pickle is Hogan, and he dives back to third, and he's tagged out. Lincoln getting over aggressive and Hogan rounding third. Had a chance to have the bases loaded with 2 away, but instead we head to the bottom of the third, and Lincoln's in front, 2-1 on the CACC network. 9-1-2 do it for Post in the bottom half of the third inning. They trail Lincoln 2-1 in Game 2 of this Senior Day doubleheader to close out the regular season and also close out all home games in the 2024-25 school year for the Post Eagles Athletic Department. Matt Scalzo with you on the CACC Network. Ethan Craig back on the mound. He faces Sean Cleary, the catcher. Swings on the first pitch and sends a sky-high fly ball to left field, drifting into the corner and ranging over his shoulder to make the grab is Solomon DeVard. 1 pitch and 1 out. And the home half of the third brings us back to the top of the order with Rene Vega. He is 0 for 1 with a soft line drive to Jaden Greenidge at third base. Ethan Craig starts him out with a strike at the knees. Lincoln, a team that has struggled pitching-wise. Coming into today, 11th in the CACC in earned run average. And losing the ball in the sun is DeVard. Vega will motor into second with a stand-up one-out double. That flared off the end of the bat by Vega, working it the other way. And DeVard, even with the sunglasses on, battling the sun, had no idea where the ball was. Vega takes advantage of it with a one-out double, and the tying run is now in scoring position with the ever-dangerous Damaris Rodriguez coming up to bat, who's already 1 for 1 with a run scored in the first. Had a double and then scored on a wild pitch to even the game at 1. First pitch from Craig moved inside, and Rodriguez was going to take it if it caught him. It did not. Here comes the 1-0. Craig notches the outer part of the zone. Evens the count to 1-1 with 1 away. Craig looks over at Vega at second with a 3-step lead. 1-1 is shot the other way, foul. Here's the 1-2. High from Craig. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Vega over at second base. Tying run in scoring position. The count runs full as Craig misses the zone. As I was saying, before the double from Vega, Lincoln, a team that has struggled pitching-wise, came in 11th in ERA into today. And while this inning isn't the best example of it, they've had strong pitching from its starters. Isaiah Negron going 6 innings, getting his first career win in Game 1, striking out 4 and allowing just 2 runs on 4 hits. Ethan Craig coming into this has really only struggled in that first inning. Had a 1-2-3 second. Put 2 fly balls into play in this inning. One was caught, the other was lost by DeVard in the sun. Could have been 2 outs, and now Isaiah Velasco has a chance to tie this game and potentially put Post on the brink of taking its first lead of the day. A wire-to-wire win for Lincoln in a run-ruled Game 1, 13-2 victory for Lincoln. It was 10-0 Lincoln before Post even got its first run of the game. Velasco skies the 1-1 out of play. It's the first run rule win of the season for Lincoln. Velasco pulls it down the line and right, but it's foul. One, two, Velasco back into center field. Long run for McNeil into the gap, and he makes the catch. Vega was well off the bag, out in second base. He thought it was going to get down, but McNeil with the speed is able to catch up and get Velasco for out number 2. And now Justin Rivera trying to keep this inning alive. Craig trying to shut the door. Send us to the 4th with Lincoln in front 2-1. Opens up the at-bat with Rivera with a strike on the inner half, right at the bottom of the zone. 0-1, and Rivera chops it foul. Here's the 0-2. Rivera up the middle and into center field. Vega gets the green light around third. The throw home from McNeil is not in time. Vega gets in just under the tag of greenage, and we are tied at 2 on an RBI single from Justin Rivera. McNeil delivered a strike from center field, but it was just a touch late. As Rivera picks up his 54th RBI of the season. And now Jalen Kelly comes up to bat, looking to give Post its first lead of the day, as it is tied once again between these two teams. Kelly's 0 for 1. He flew out to center field to bookend the bottom of the first. Rodriguez going. Kelly dribbles one to short. Hogan with a strong throw on the first ends the inning. But Post answers back and ties it up at 2. An RBI single from Justin Rivera to drive in Vega. We're all square at 2 through 3 on the CACC network. Kenneth Gaskins. Gaskins, 33. Back at Waterbury Municipal Stadium, into the top of the fourth inning we go. Some defensive changes for Post. Dario Sosa is out and left as Kenneth Gaskins leads off, and Sean Nowicki opens up this at-bat with back-to-back strikes. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could be with me. 0-2 from Nowicki is high. Oh, 1-2 is inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two, and Gaskins catches a piece. Two from Nowicki. Gaskins pulls it into right, and he's got a leadoff base hit to open up the fourth. Gaskins getting on base both times today. Was hit by a pitch back in the second, came in to score when he stole home on the tried and trusted delayed double steal. Sebastian Aguirre attempted to throw to second from Sean Cleary, and once that ball was in the air, Gaskins made the mad dash for home. And the throw from Cleary came in low to Vega, trying to cut off the throw. As this one hit on the ground towards third. Foul ball off the bat of Jalen Greenidge. He was 0 for 1 with a flyout. That stolen base from Gaskins when he stole home made it 2-1 Lincoln. And then Post answered back in the third. An RBI single from Justin Rivera has us where we are tied at 2 after both teams picked up a run in the first inning. The 0-1 comes in, and that hits Greenidge. First 2 reach base against Nowicki in the fourth. It looks to be that Ben Major is out in center field. I don't see Demarius Rodriguez anymore. Bunt laid down by Aguirre. Cardona airmails the throw over at the top of Vega. Gaskins will come in to score. It goes down the right field line. Velasco fires it back in. Roberge with the cutoff. And Aguirre holds over at second base. Lincoln back in front. Another error against Post. This one from Cardona. Second time we've seen him launch a throw to first over first baseman, and when the throw is a little high to Rene Vega, it makes it tough for him to come down with it, especially when he's covering first. Vega just 5'7", tied for the shortest on the roster, and now 2 in scoring position as this is up over the head of the 9-hitter Bryce McNeil. So now Greenidge is over at third, and Aguirre stands over at second. The 9-hitter McNeil is 0 for 1 with a strikeout on a drop third strike. Showing bunt. Pulls back on the 1-0. And just catches a piece. Makes it 1-1. Shows bunt again, and this time misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. McNeil making Post indecisive on what to do with its quarter infielders as Nowicki pulls this one outside. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Lincoln back in front 3-2 after Gaskins came in to score on the error on the throw from Cardona. The 3-1. McNeil drives it out towards left center field. Way back there. And it one-hops into the wall. McNeil on his way to third. Greenidge and Aguirre will score. It's a 2-run triple from Bryce McNeil. And he opens it up in the fourth inning. It's 5-2 Lincoln. McNeil tattoos it into the left center field alley. And he picks up his third triple of the season. No doubles, no home runs. All extra base hits for Bryce McNeil have been triples. And the freshman out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, delivers the biggest and loudest hit here in Game 2. And those good vibes that the Lions were feeling in Game 1 have carried over to Game 2. That high-octane offense putting up 13 runs in Game 1 on its way to a run rule 13-2 win in 7 innings against Post in Game 1. Has 5 runs through 3 innings, not even through the fourth. There's no outs in this inning, and McNeil's over at third. Greenidge and Aguirre coming in to score. That brushes inside, and it hits Devard. Runners on the corners, nobody out. It's spiraling for Post. And Ray Skold comes out of the top step of the dugout. Is going to go to the mound. And that will do it for Sean Nowicki. Gets through 2 innings with little damage done, and then things open up in the fourth. Harvey Valera getting the call to the bullpen. And we'll let Valera warm up. We'll get you everything you need to know when we come back on the CACC Network. Harvey Valera onto the mound, and he will face Sean Stoney. And he deals a first pitch strike to open things up in his outing. And Harrett's a tough situation, Post trailing 5-2, and he's got runners on the corners. It's Devard at first and Bryce McNeil at third. And this is lined into left field. Sean Stoney drives in McNeil. And now trying to advance to third. Here comes DeVard. Going to second is Stoney. The aggressiveness on the base paths working for Lincoln. An RBI single for Sean Stoney. And DeVard advancing over to third after looked like Sosa might have had trouble with it in left field. And on the throw to third, Stoney said, you know what, I'll head to second. And it's 6-2 Lincoln here in the fourth inning. Valera didn't even have time to settle in, and he's already under the gun. That's the first pitch strike to Wesley Hogan. He's got an RBI ground out and a single in the third. Valera making his 8th appearance. All have come out of the bullpen. Holds a 6.05 ERA and a 1-1 record. Has 2 saves. He's got 19 and third innings of work. 23 hits, 14 runs, 13 of those earned with 15 Ks to 5 walks. Bounces in on the 0-2. Opponents are batting .295 against the junior right-hander from the Dominican Republic. Two-way player, also plays in the outfield from time to time. 1-2, jams inside against Hogan and he pops it foul. Last appearance for Valera was on the 23rd of April. He went 7 innings, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits with 6 Ks to 1 walk against nationally ranked Goldie Beacom. Get some PFP action here on a Baltimore chop up the middle. Valera fields and fires to Roberge. For out number 1 to retire Hogan, DeVard and Stoney hold where they are. Jaden Greenidge now comes up, 1 for 2. A pop out in the first, a single in the third. This inning began with Kenneth Gaskins with a single. Greenidge on the hit by pitch. An error from Cardona allowed Gaskins to score, and then the 2-run triple from Bryce McNeil, and the RBI single from Sean Stoney has made it a 6-2 advantage for Lincoln. Valera, another play up the middle. He looks DeVard back to third, then goes to Roberge for out number 2. Back-to-back 1-3 putouts for Valera. And once again, DeVard and Stoney forced to stay where they are. As it comes to Miguel Agramonte. Valera got that win 6 days ago in his outing against Goldie Beacom. Prior to that, he went 4 innings of 1 hit ball with 5 Ks against Bloomfield. That really got him into his groove. It's one of the players I talked to after the game. That first of 2 doubleheaders between those two. He's in another pitcher's count. 0-2 against Agramonte. He's 0 for 1, a fly out and a walk. The 0-2 skips outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. DeVard at third, Stoney at second. 6-2 the advantage for Lincoln. 4 runs put up in this 4th inning. 1-2, softly hit on the ground. Cardona fields. Tosses to first. Roberge the stretch. He holds on, and the inning is over. Roberge showing off the length and the flexibility, able to keep his foot on the bag and bring that 4-run 4th to a close. But Lincoln has done its damage. They open it up, and they hand it back to Ethan Craig in the bottom of the 4th when we come back on the CACC Network. Into the bottom of the fourth we go. Lincoln breaking things open in the top of the fourth. 4 runs make it a 6-2 Lions lead. Michael Cardona, Hayden Roberge, and Ben Major due up for post in this home half of the fourth inning in Game 2 of this Tuesday afternoon Senior Day doubleheader on the CACC Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. Glad you could be with me. Cardona leads off, bounces one up the middle. Hogan fields on the move and fires to first. Some slick glove work from Wesley Hogan, and there's one away on one pitch in the fourth inning. Ethan Craig has looked comfortable on the mound. 2 really good starts from the Lincoln starting pitchers today. Isaiah Negron with his best start in his freshman season, and Craig just carrying the momentum from his CACC honor roll nod this past week after a complete game. 9 strikeouts, 1 run allowed in a 7-1 win over Caldwell last week. He's carried momentum forward. Just allowing 2 runs. Roberge a chopper to third. Greenidge fields. Sets his feet. 2 away. Ben Major now comes up in an inning where Post really needed to have a chance to bounce back and maybe stir some momentum back up with Harvey Valera having to come out of the bullpen. It's been 2 quick outs by Craig. Major swings and he fouls one off. Pulls it just foul the bag on the left field line. Post definitely needs to find something over these next 4 innings. Just 7 innings as the lengthened game, too, as the sun starts to set. That brushes inside, and Major moves out of the way. But Post has dropped 6 games in a row, including game 1 of this doubleheader, getting run ruled by Lincoln, who's in last place in the South, 8-37 now on the season. Major skies it out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. But a 6-game skid extending back to game 2 against Goldie Beacom that they lost against nationally ranked Goldie Beacom, then swept in a huge clash in the North Division against the top seed in North Dominican, lost all 4. And now things have not gone their way against Lincoln. Jalen Greenidge pulls off the mask, and he makes the grab to close out a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Momentum fully in favor of the Lions heading into the 5th on the CACC Network. Dalton Wright comes out of the bullpen and onto the mound for Post. He replaces Harvey Valera. Comes in a big spot in the fourth inning. Gives up just one hit. No runs against him. All those runs went against Sean Nowicki, who I can give the final stat line on Nowicki. Went 2 innings, giving up 5 runs, 4 of those earned on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Kenneth Gaskins led off in the 4th, leads off in the 5th. He takes ball 1 outside from the sophomore right-hander in Dalton Wright out of Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Foul tip on the 1-0. Wright this season, a 7.82 ERA through 10 appearances. Has given up 11 runs, all of them earned on 22 hits in 12 and 2/3 innings of work. He struck out 8 and walked 7. Gaskins skies it out of play. Opponents are batting .407 against Wright. His last appearance came in Game 1 on Friday against Dominican. Came in relief for Brendan Holligan. Went 3 1/3 innings, giving up 1 run on 5 hits with a strikeout. A 10-3 loss for Post in that opener. Two to Gaskins, and he fights it off with another foul ball. Gaskins is 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored. He was hit by a pitch in the second, stole home on the tried and trusted double steal. On the 2-2, he drives this one deep to right field, way back, and gone. A leadoff solo home run for Kenneth Gaskins. And the offensive firepower continues for Lincoln, their second long ball of the day. And it's 7-2 Lions in the 5th. Gaskins with his second home run of the season. He's now 2 for 2 in game number 2 after Keith Gardner went yard in game 1 on a 2-run shot to left field that got out in a hurry, and that one off the bat of Gaskins. You just knew he teed that one up. Fouled off by Jalen Greenidge. Gaskins launched his first home run of the season against Holy Family. Game 4 of that 4-game set. Rivera, a jumping throw from short on the money and in time. Retires Greenidge for out number 1 here in the 5th. Gaskins, a junior out of Silver Spring, Maryland. His first home run in his career, and he's continued his hitting streak, extending it to 7 games. After his single in the 4th inning, and he follows it up with that solo home run to right. The 1-0, Aguaron in the air, right field. Drifts Vega back. He's called off by Velasco, who makes the grab for out number 2. The 9-hitter Bryce McNeil now comes up. He's 1 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd and then delivered a 2-run triple in the 4th. That broke this game open. Made it 5-2 in favor of Lincoln. McNeil waves through the breaking ball. Dropped to a knee almost. As Dalton Wright has come in and was instantly thrown into the fire against Kenneth Gaskins. He's quickly in the driver's seat, settling back down. making sure to get these breaking balls down low against McNeil. Just catches a piece and nubs it foul. It's 0-2. Fastball elevated high from right, 1-2. Bounces to backstop from right, and it's all level. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away to McNeil. Lincoln took game 1, 13-2. They're trying to sweep this doubleheader to close out their regular season, spoil senior day for Post, and send the Eagles into the playoffs on a 7-game skid. And McNeil spoils again. We'll do it all over again, another 2-2. Based on what I've seen today, I think if you had told me to, if you just gave me the 2 roster, or the 2 schedules and records from this season, didn't tell me who it associated to, I think I probably would have told you that Lincoln's the team headed to the postseason. But the Lions, with nothing to lose, have been throwing haymakers against the Eagles. Wright strikes out McNeil, closes the 5th inning, but the Lions add another run on the solo home run from Kenneth Gaskins. We head to the home half of the 5th when we come back on the CACC Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, 7-2 the lead for Lincoln after Kenneth Gaskins went yard to kickstart the top of the 5th inning. Sean Cleary leads off for Post in the bottom half. And Ethan Craig starts him with a strike. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could make me a part of your Tuesday afternoon. Final home game of the season for Post. Final home game in the 2024-25 school year for Post Athletics as a whole. Final stream as well. Post will be in the postseason as Cleary lays off that, and it's 1-2. They'll take on Felician in the first round. 2 versus 3 in that matchup. Cleary goes the other way, and a snag over at first base by Kenneth Gaskins, making plays on offense and on defense. Gaskins starting the home half and the away half in this 5th inning with some highlight plays. The home run in the top of the 5th. And now that lunging snag on the line drive from Cleary. As I was saying, Post will be taking on Felician. Doubleheader on Friday, and if necessary, Game 3 set for Saturday. The Post men's lacrosse team is in the CACC semifinals. They're taking on top seed Wilmington tomorrow at 3:30 after they defeated Bridgeport in the lone first-round game, the 4-versus-5 matchup. Vega skitters one on the ground. Second baseman in Stoney with the toss to first, 2 away. And Dario Sosa, who was subbed in a few innings ago out in left field, now makes his first appearance at the dish today. He was on the mound in Game 1, exited after some discomfort on the mound. He comes in as a .247 hitter with a home run and 14 RBIs on the year. Sosa in the air out towards left field. Long run for Devard, and this one is out of here. Dario Sosa goes yard for the second time this season and gets Post on the board. With a solo blast in the 5th inning, it's 7-3. His first at-bat of this doubleheader. He wastes no time depositing that over the left field wall. Whatever discomfort or injury Sosa had on the mound, clearly not affecting his swing. But the big fly sets the table for Isaiah Velasco. First home run for Sosa since the 15th of March against Georgian Court. The 0-1 is outside to Velasco. Third home run of Sosa's career. Three balls, one strike to Velasco. And the count runs full on a foul ball from Isaiah Velasco. He's 0 for 2. Pair of flyouts here in Game 2. Payoff pitch is low, ball 4. Velasco with a 2-out walk, and he heads down to first base. Brings up Justin Rivera. A shortstop is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Picked up an RBI single in the 3rd. And he hits Rivera on the first pitch, did Craig. So now Jalen Kelly will come up, and Craig will have a conversation on the mound with Jalen Greenidge, and head coach Vince Connor will come out to talk with them. Put his glove towards the dugout, saying, "I'm okay, I'm all right." It just looks like a conversation to settle things down for his freshman right-hander. He'll face Jalen Kelly. He's 0 for 2 so far today. It's been these odd-numbered innings that have been struggle for Craig. Just giving up one run in the 1st, 3rd, and the 5th. No crooked numbers, which has been good, but this is the biggest test for him so far. Runners on 1st and 2nd. There are 2 away, fortunate for him. Had the same situation in the 3rd after Rivera delivered the RBI single. Can he limit it just to the Sosa solo home run? First pitch to Jalen Kelly. High for ball one. Sun continues to set out in Waterbury. 1-0. Breaking ball hangs upstairs, and Craig just trying to find the zone. Post trying to get back in it. 2-0. Pulled outside, and it's 3-0. Jalen Kelly's going to keep the bat on his shoulder, as Craig just looks to find the zone. The 3-0. Fouled off by Jalen Kelly. He got the green light on 3-0 count, in which you saw Craig miss high a couple of times and then missed outside. Where does Craig go on the 3-1? Goes back inside, and another foul ball from Jalen Kelly. Ethan Craig looking to work backwards. Was delivered 3 straight balls and a 3-0 count. Has gotten back-to-back foul balls from Jalen Kelly. Looking for one more strike to close out this 5th inning. 3-2 on the ground to third. Eats up Jaden Greenidge, and there is no throw to first. An in-between hop. It was going to be a tough play for Greenidge, but now the bases are loaded with Maiko Cardona coming up to bat. Kenley will pick up a base hit. Bases loaded, and Cardona represents the tying run in the 5th inning. And he waves through the first pitch from Craig. This has been the part of the order that Craig has had no issues with. Cardona, Roberge, and Major. He's put them down 1, 2, 3 in the 2nd and in the 4th. Oh, on breaking ball. Just a touch off the plate. From the stretch, fastball is outside. Cardona drives it the other way into right field. Long run for Agramente. He dives and he makes the grab. With the bases loaded, Miguel Agramonte makes a spectacular grab out in right field and limits the damage to just the solo home run from Dario Sosa. It was the solo shot from Kenneth Gaskins in the top of the 5th. Sosa answered him in the bottom half, and then with the bases loaded, it's a spectacular play by Miguel Agramonte. Keeps it at a 4-run game and sends us to the 6th inning here on the CACC Network. Top of the 6th inning, 7-3. The lead for the lead for Lincoln over Post. Not a lot of baseball left in this regular season, as Hayden Roberge makes a nice leaping grab to open up the top of the 6th inning against Solomon Devard. Sean Stoney now comes up to bat. He's 1 for 3. On the mound now for Post, Sebastian Velasquez, the sophomore out of Valley Stream, New York, transferred in from the University of Rhode Island to D1 level. Gets back in the zone, and it's 1-1. Last pitched against Dominican on the 27th in Game 1. I found the zone, and Sean Cleary thought it was strike 3, so he fired it down to Michael Cardona when it was only strike 2. Velasquez went 2/3 of an inning in that game against Dominican. 1-2, just a touch upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Velasquez picks up the strikeout. Has 2 quick outs to open up his outing. The season for Velasquez, he's making his 11th appearance. 1-3 on the year with an 8.01 ERA through 30 and a third innings of work. He's got now 30 strikeouts to 23 walks. Opponents are batting .325 against the right-hander. .1-0 by Hogan. Chopped on the ground to Cardona. Across the diamond. And it's a 1-2-3. Top of the 6th for Velasquez. We head to the bottom half. Post trailing by 4 on the CACC network. Bottom of the 6th inning. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Post in the bottom half of the 6th. Trailing 7-3. Ethan Craig back on the mound. Hayden Roberge swings on the first pitch. Pops it up first base side. Foul ground. And on top of the Lincoln dugout it goes. 7-3 the lead for the Lions. Looking to close out the regular season with a sweep over Post. Lincoln got the win in Game 1, 13-2. Run ruled Post through 7 innings. 0-1 hits Roberge. He continues on his program-setting tear of hit-by pitches, his 29th of the season. It's also the most in the CACC this season. And so the leadoff man is aboard in Roberge. First time he's got on against Craig. Had a pair of groundouts earlier, and now Ben Major looks to get on. And he takes the first pitch ball low. There's a pitcher starting to get loose for Lincoln and their bullpen. It's the same pitcher we saw close out game one. Dennis Flores. He just pitched in the 7th inning. So not a lot of wear and tear done on his arm. The 1-1. Fastball high and outside from Craig. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lights starting to flicker on at Waterbury Municipal Stadium. 2-1. Major waves through. Sean Cleary stands on deck. Major pulls it down the left field line, and it's out of reach for a diving Jaden Greenidge. Roberge around second on his way to third. And it's a double for Ben Major to put 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. And now it's the 9-hitter, Sean Cleary, coming up. Wonder how long is the leash now for Ethan Craig, who's approaching 100 pitches. He's at 95 as it stands currently. Cleary 0 for 2. First pitch he sees is a fastball up above the letters. Only been 1 crooked number in any of the frames in this game, too. Cleary up the middle. Hogan will make the stop, and he's got out number 1. Roberge will score, brings the deficit down to 3 for Post. It's 7-4. Advancing to third goes Major, and it's back to the top of the order with Rene Vega. So Cleary picks up an RBI on the ground out. At the very least, as well, does his job to put Major 90 feet away for making a 2-run game. The outs dwindling for Post. 5 outs to work with, trailing by 3. Craig's first pitch to Vega. Rocketed foul, left field line. The 0-1. Hangs upstairs. Count even at 1-1. Post trying to come from behind and snap their 6-game skid as they try to right the ship coming into the postseason. Vega jammed inside. He skies one out towards left field. Devard ranging in. He collides, and making the grab is Hogan out in shallow left field. Lincoln fortunate that, 1, neither of them is hurt, and 2, that they're able to come up and make the play. Between Devard and Hogan, miscommunication on who's going to get the ball. Either way, 2 outs. And one of the biggest things about that is Major left stranded over at third. Can't move. But now Dario Sosa comes up. And he sees the first pitch strike go by. His first time up, he deposited a home run over the left field wall, his second blast of the season 0-1. Back up the middle. Craig on the backhand. The toss to first is in time, and he escapes with just one run allowed in the sixth. We head into the seventh and final inning. Post trailing by 3. Lincoln looking for the sweep when we come back on the CACC Network. Into the seventh we go. Lincoln up 7-4 in game 2 of this senior day doubleheader, now under the lights of Waterbury Municipal Stadium. I'm Matt Scalzo on the CACC Network. Glad you could make me a part of your Tuesday afternoon. Jaden Greenidge leads off, and he takes the first pitch ball upstairs from Sebastian Velasquez. Final home game of the 2025 regular season for Post. Final game of the season for Lincoln, and final home game and final stream for Post Athletics in the 2024-25 season. Greenidge jammed inside, fights it off with a foul ball. Lincoln trying to finish the season with some pride. Get a sweep over a team heading to the playoffs. Greenidge, defensive swing, just catches a piece of it and stays alive. For Post, they'll be taking on Felician in the first round of the CACC tournament. Best of 3 series against Felician. Greenidge on the ground, backhanded by Cardona at third. A throw on to first is in time. Nice play by Cardona over at the hot corner for out number 1. For Post, they need to limit the damage. They need to keep it where it is. Try and just go down by 3 runs heading into the bottom of the 7th with 3 outs to work with. The odds aren't in their favor, but against a Lincoln team that isn't the strongest pitching-wise, gives yourself a chance. If it's anything more, it'll be a little tough. Velasquez misses outside up to Miguel Argamante. Argamante had a spectacular grab out in right field, a diving grab to bring the 5th inning to a close, where Post had the bases loaded with 2 outs. They'd already brought 1 run in, but that play right there, huge in the standings of this game, as is the solo home run from Kenneth Gaskins in the 4-run 4th inning as well from the Lions. Velasquez finds his own on a sweeping breaking ball. A 2-run triple from Bryce McNeil made it a 5-2 lead for Lincoln as Velasquez deals back-to-back strikes. And then Sean Stoney, the RBI single, made it 6-2. Gaskins, his solo home run, made it 7-2. Post has brought in the last 2 runs, a solo home run from Dario Sosa. As the 2-2 skied out towards left field, Sosa running towards the line. comes up with the grab, and there's 2 away in the 7th. And then an RBI ground out from Sean Cleary in the 6th has us where we are at 7-4. Kenneth Gaskins has reached base all 3 times he's come up today. Hit by a pitch, came in a score in the 2nd. RBI, or a single to lead off the 4th. Came in a score in that as well. And then, of course, the solo home run in the 5th inning that got out of here in a hurry to right field. His 2nd home run in 3 games and his 2nd home run of the season. Pops it up out of play. For Post, it'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the order. Velasco, Rivera, and Kelly due to come up in the bottom of the 7th. Post has dropped its last 6 games. 0-2 count. Velasquez looking to have 1, 2, 3 innings out of the pen. The 0-2, and Gaskins lifts it in the air. Left field, foul ground, Sosa will run out of room, as did Cardona. But Post, they dropped game 2 of their doubleheader against nationally ranked Goldie Beacom on the 23rd. Then swept by Dominican this past weekend, all 4 games. Gave up 51 runs across the 4 games. And then they dropped game 1, getting run ruled by Lincoln, who's in last place in the South. Gaskins let that one go by, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss. Gaskins down on strikes, and he gives a smile and a nod of his head to Velasquez, who puts him down on strikes. 2nd strikeout for Velasquez brings the top of the 7th to a close. We'll head to the bottom half, where Post is trailing by 3. They got 3 outs to work with. Lincoln trying to end their season on a high note when we come back on the CACC Network. Into the bottom of the 7th we go. Lincoln looking for the sweep over Post. Bottom of the 7th, it's a 7-4 lead for Lincoln. They're looking for the sweep and to spoil senior day for Post. On the final day of the regular season, final home game for Post this season. And the Lincoln Lions, who came into today 7-37, trying to end their campaign on a high note with a sweep over a team bound for the playoffs and reigning CACC champions. Matt Scalzo with you on the CACC Network. Velasco swings on the first pitch. Nabbed down by Gaskins. A race to the bag is in time for Gaskins. What a play by Kenneth Gaskins. He had the solo home run earlier, and he's had a pair of outstanding defensive plays. That another one of them. And it's a huge first out to start the bottom of the 7th for Ethan Craig, who's looking to go the distance in game 2. First out is always the biggest out, and especially when you're trying to slam the door shut against a Post team that is postseason bound. They'll be taking on Felician in a best-of-3 series to open up round 1 of the CACC tournament on Friday. Doubleheader, and if necessary, Game 3 is slated for Saturday. As Justin Rivera takes the first 2 pitches out of the zone. (2-0). Bounces to the backstop. Post needs 3 runs to tie the game. 4 walks it off. And in these doubleheaders, Game 2 always goes to 7 innings. Craig puts it down the chute, and Rivera was taken all the way. 3-1. Rivera's reached all 3 times in Game 2. Pair of singles as an RBI and was hit by a pitch his last time up. And he works a walk his 4th time to the dish. Once again, he gets on base. Jalen Kelly now coming up to bat. Can't tell if anybody's throwing in the Lincoln bullpen. As that one gets past the catcher Greenidge, Rivera will advance over to second. On the grand scheme of things, Craig shouldn't exactly be too focused on Rivera, but here comes Vince Connor. Gonna go out and have a conversation with his pitcher. Going into this at-bat, had thrown 108 pitches. And his freshman right-hander coming off a CACC honor roll performance against Caldwell last week, in which he threw a complete game, 9 strikeouts, and a 7-1 win for Lincoln over the Cougars. But also understanding, he's just a freshman. You don't want to have any major effects on his arm. They're going to roll with him. Kelly is 1 for 3. Fly out, ground out, and then a single his last time up in the 5th. Michael Cardona stands on deck, and he's 0 for 3. Kelly, on his senior day, lifts the 1-0 in the air to right field. Argamente is going to run out of room. Actually, he just won't get there in time as it lands in foul ground. Kelly, on his senior day, battled through injury the first half of his career before becoming one of the top hitters on this post side over the last 2 seasons. He's primarily worked as the DH and has put up 76 hits coming into today. Added another one here in Game 2. This put on the ground to short. Scooped up by Hogan. Looks at the runner at second. Fires a strike to first, and there's 2 away. 50 RBIs in the career for Jalen Kelly from Naugatuck, Connecticut. Likely his final at-bat at Waterbury Municipal Stadium. And now Michael Cardona comes up. Post down to its last out. Lincoln trying to get the sweep. Cardona fouls off the first pitch. Lincoln has swept 1 doubleheader this season. That was against Bloomfield on April 9th. 0-1 dips outside in the dirt. Lone winning streak this season was that sweep against Bloomfield, who was last in the conference overall. 0-42 coming into today as Cardona in the air, foul ground right field line. Running over is Agramante, and he won't get there. So now Post is down to its last strike. 1-2 with 2 away. Cardona is the last hope to keep things going. Craig home on the 1-2. Goes to the backstop. And Rivera holds over at second. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cardona is 0 for 3. Craig looking to go the distance once again. He's had 2 complete games before as Cardona skies one out to left field. Devard is there, and Lincoln has the sweep over post to close out the 2025 regular season. The Lions have had a tough year, but they end it on a high note, sweeping the 3 seed in the North as Post continues to shake its head and wonder what is going wrong. The Eagles dropped their 7th consecutive game and head into the postseason in a downward spiral. They'll be taking on Felician in round 1. Game 1 is set for Friday. Time is yet to be determined. Doubleheader on Friday down in Rutherford, New Jersey. If needed, Game 3 will be set on Saturday. A phenomenal outing from Ethan Craig on the mound. A complete game. Just giving up the 4 runs. He struck out a pair, walked 3. And hitting-wise, it was Kenneth Gaskins, a 2 for 3 day. And Bryce McNeil, 2-run triple. Pacing the way for the Lions that finished the year 9-37, 5-28 in conference play, and finished with a sweep on their final day of the regular season. And on senior day for Post, their losing streak has extended to 7 games. They finished the regular season 26-23 and 22-14 in conference play, 13-10 at home this season. And as this contest comes to a close, as does the home slate for Post in the 2024-25 school year. So I'm here to say thank you to all of you tuning in at home, whether it was your first time today or if you've been following along all year, whether it was my broadcast or one of the other tremendous broadcasters on this staff, such as Max Stapleton, Chris Del Sordo, Robbie Johnson, Jeremy Goldstein, Griffin Casson, Jeff Nelson. Thank you from all of us for making us a part of your year. Of course, I can't forget about the tremendous team behind the camera, spearheaded by Michael Vesey and his team of Kristen Brown, Grace Glassrood, Jake Haddad, and Jarrett Michaels, along with all the other interns that I don't have time to name and don't have the whole list in front of me. All of this would not be possible without those people. And so for me, to all of you, thank you for giving me the opportunities to call the games. Whether it was win or lose, it's always a fun time coming to work with you all. No post-game interviews today as Post drops both of their contests to Lincoln. They'll look to right the ship in the postseason when they take on Felician in the first round on Friday. Until next time, I'm Matt Scalzo saying so long from Waterbury. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.